I never imagined the first slap of my life would come from my own mother. And I certainly didn't think it would happen in the middle of my engagement party, right in front of the man I was about to call my husband. My cheek burned, but what hurt more was the icy chill that ran down my spine, cold from my mother's eyes, from the frozen silence in the room, and from the way Daniel stood behind me, saying nothing. I heard a glass fall. Someone must have dropped a champagne flute. Or maybe I was just imagining things. My head buzzed. My mother was still standing there, chest heaving, her face red with fury. And Haley, my younger sister, had her head down, hands clenched tightly, unable to look up. "You're so selfish, Lauren," my mother said, each word sharp as a blade. "Haley is struggling, and you have the nerve to refuse to help your sister?" I opened my mouth. I wanted to say, that's my money. That's my wedding fund. I've dreamed of this day my entire youth. But the words got stuck in my throat. Just a few hours earlier, I had believed today would be the happiest day of my life. I wore a soft white dress, my hair curled with a few delicate flowers pinned in. Daniel held my hand as we walked into the ballroom to a wave of applause and soft music. "I could look at you forever and never get tired," Daniel whispered in my ear as we raised our glasses. I laughed. Maybe I was too quick to believe. Maybe I just really wanted to believe happiness was real. The room was filled with white peonies, my favorite flower since I was little. The guests were familiar faces. College friends, Daniel's co-workers, even childhood friends of mine. My mother was glowing, as if she were the star of the event. She was always like that, always needed to be the center of attention. I had been planning this wedding since I was 18, ever since my parents gave me a special gift. $45,000, called the Love Wedding Fund. They told me that when I found the right person, that money would help me have the wedding of my dreams. The money was in my name, legally and separately. I had never touched a cent of it. Haley, my sister, received a similar amount. But unlike me, Haley was a dreamer, impulsive and reckless. She dropped out of college, chasing one get-rich scheme after another. Homemade cosmetics, online businesses, a boutique cafe. All of which failed. I had offered advice many times, even to help her manage her finances, but my mother always brushed me off. "Everyone has their own path, Lauren. You just take care of yourself." And yet tonight, right in the middle of my engagement party, my mother, Janet, stepped onto the stage and made an announcement in front of hundreds of guests. "I have something important to share. Haley is going through a very difficult time in her business. After careful thought, we, as a family, have decided to transfer Lauren's wedding fund to Haley to help her get through this crisis." I was stunned. I stood up, cutting her off, trying to keep my voice calm. "I'm sorry, Mom, but that's my money. It's legally mine. I don't agree to this." My mother turned to me, her face like stone. "You can't be this selfish, Lauren. Your sister needs help. I've waited for this wedding my whole life. Do you know I've been planning every little detail since I was 18? This isn't about money. This is about a dream, about my future." The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Whispers started to rise. I saw Daniel move like he was about to say something, but he didn't. And then, slap. The sound cracked through the hall like lightning. My cheek was burning. The whole room fell into dead silence. "You are the biggest disappointment of my life," my mother hissed. Here's the translation in American English. After the engagement party fell apart, I thought things couldn't possibly get any worse. But I was wrong. My mother, the same woman who once hugged me in tears at my graduation, was now the one filing a lawsuit, demanding that I return the $45,000 wedding fund. The reason? The money was given for educational purposes, not to fund a frivolous wedding. I held the copy of the lawsuit in my trembling hands. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely hear what Mia Torres, my lawyer, was saying. She had just come back from a tense meeting with the plaintiffs, who were my parents. "I've never seen a case like this before," Mia said, shaking her head. "They're trying to disguise a financial grab as some kind of moral crusade. But don't worry, Lauren. Legally, they don't have a strong case. The account is in your name. and you had full rights to use the money. I looked at her, feeling grateful but still terrified. But what if they win? Asked. They won't, Mia said firmly. Unless they have clear written proof that the money was strictly for tuition. And from what you showed me, that doesn't exist. It's strange. People always say blood is thicker than water. But everything I've been through makes me feel like a stranger in my own family. After my mom was briefly detained by police for slapping me, almost no one in my extended family reached out. My aunt, the one who used to knit me scarves every winter, called just to say, "You shouldn't have made a big deal out of it. Mothers get angry sometimes, that's just how it is." I hung up without a word. I didn't want to argue. I was too tired. What hurt even more was Daniel, my fiancé, quietly moved out of our shared apartment after that night. He left behind a single blunt text. I need time to think. It felt like everything in my life, family, love, dignity, was crumbling within just a few days. And then one Monday morning I got a strange email from an address nearly identical to mine. lauren.daviswedding@gmail.com. Mine is lauren.davis.wedding. Subject line: Notice of wedding cancellation, June 18th. It was sent to over 200 people. Friends, Daniel's business partners, everyone. The message was brief and cold. Dear guests, due to personal reasons and irreconcilable differences, I, Lauren Davis, formally announce the cancellation of my wedding with Daniel Brown. We apologize for any inconvenience. Sincerely, Lauren Davis. Froze. I had never written that email. And I had never agreed to cancel the wedding. I immediately called Daniel, no answer. I texted him, nothing. No response. The next day I got a message from my best friend, Aaron. I don't know if the cheating rumors are true or not, but you should take those photos down before this gets out of control. I jumped on social media and was stunned. A post was going viral. 3 photos, one of me hugging a strange man in a cafe, one of us holding hands outside a hotel, and the last me walking out of a hotel room with him. The caption read, Lauren Davis, called off the wedding because of a new guy? The woman in the photos was definitely me. But I knew the truth. The photos were edited, photoshopped, skillfully but with flaws. The shirt I was wearing in one picture was from a different event. The lighting didn't match. The shadows were wrong. I immediately called Mia. We need to verify the authenticity of these photos and trace the IP address of whoever sent that fake email, she said, her voice as cold as steel. This is defamation and identity fraud. I froze. I once thought that my wedding would be a beautiful beginning. But after everything that happened, it turned into a battle to hold on to the little that was left. My dignity. I still decided to marry Daniel. Despite everything falling apart around us, he came back to me. He believed in me despite the rumors, photoshopped images, and fake emails. Daniel said something that made me tear up. I'm not marrying a perfect girl. I'm marrying someone who's willing to fight to protect herself. We had a smaller, more private wedding. Just close friends and people I knew would not turn their backs on me when I fell. The wedding dress, the flowers, the rings. Everything was hand-picked by me, down to the smallest detail. I wasn't going to let the past take anything else from me. But the past doesn't let go that easily. On the morning of the wedding, while I was getting my makeup done, the event manager rushed in. Lauren. The security just caught Haley at the back entrance. She was carrying red paint, intending to spill it on your wedding dress or destroy the flowers. Luckily, we caught her in time. I sat still. Not because I was shocked, but because I had expected this. Just didn't expect it to happen today. Haley didn't want me to have a happy day. She couldn't stand seeing me move forward despite everything she'd done. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath. I won't sue, I said. I won't let her ruin my day again. I didn't want my image to be distorted once more online. No need for another story about the bride suing her sister-in-law on her wedding day. We instructed the security to escort Haley off the premises. She was banned from attending the wedding and any of my events from then on. 3 weeks after the wedding, we won the lawsuit. The court ruled that the $45,000 fund was my legal property, transferred unconditionally when I turned 18. My parents had no right to reclaim it, and using the money for the wedding did not violate any terms, because there were no terms. They not only lost the lawsuit, but were also ordered to pay all my and Mia's legal fees. Nearly $15,000. I wasn't present at the court hearing when the verdict was read. I didn't want to see my mother's face. The one who used to hold me when I was sick, now looking at me as if I were her enemy. I only received an email from Mia. *, congratulations. Finally, justice has spoken. *. A few weeks later, I heard Haley was getting married. She was still throwing an extravagant wedding in the suburbs. A French imported wedding dress, a 5-course buffet, a stage with lighting like an award ceremony. Who was footing the bill? My parents. They took out a loan, mortgaged their car and property so their second daughter could be happy. But what they didn't anticipate was, once you choose to side with lies, many people will turn their backs. Many relatives didn't attend. My old close friends, once they knew the truth, also rejected the invitation. Some even openly posted on social media. *, I won't attend a wedding where the bride once faked a letter to destroy someone else's happiness. *, that wedding wasn't as grand as they imagined. No one was cheering. Just pictures online with cold comments attached. Daniel and I used the remaining money from the wedding to buy a small house in the suburbs. A house with a balcony full of lavender, where every morning I make coffee and listen to the wind rustling. Every corner of the house was cared for by us, with our own hands, tears, and the dignity I had reclaimed. Years passed. I no longer hear much about Haley or my parents. They live in the old house, drowning in debt. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not sad either. Everyone must pay for their own choices. One day, I received a handwritten letter. In my mother's familiar handwriting. Lauren, I know you might not read this line. But if you do, I just want to say I'm sorry. We were wrong. Your father's health has been declining, and the bank is about to seize the house. If you could help. I folded the letter. Gently. I had once been the daughter willing to forgive. But that was before my mother looked me in the eye and said, *, that money isn't yours. *. I replied to the letter with one sentence. The same one they had said to me when I begged to keep the money I had saved for over a decade. You should have planned better. I didn't write anything else. I didn't include anything else. Because sometimes, justice doesn't need to be a verdict. As long as you live happily, that's the most ruthless form of revenge.